Wrestling just isn't making any new fans because of how fake it is. And I'm not talking about kayfabe, I'm talking about gimmicky. The only highly rated show is SmackDown, and even those ratings are a joke compared to the 90s and early 2000s. The only reason SmackDown is doing all right is because Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, and the storylines so far have been realistic. It's not like Raw, where they're lighting people on fire or shooting fireballs at each other, or AEW, where the best tag team sells for someone the size of a 13-year-old boy. Something has to be done to change the ratings and popularity. It just seems like it has to be more realistic. Unless it just doesn't matter to the people who are running it, because they're making more money than ever. For WWE, they're having less fans, but the few that they have are spending much more money. And AEW kind of just seems to do their own thing, whether people like it or not. Here's some food for thought. How many wrestling segments in the last few years would you show to a non-wrestling fan and not be embarrassed? See, I love wrestling, and all of this stuff I'm entertained by. But to get a new person into wrestling now just seems like it's becoming so much harder. Like even just that Britt Baker segment that we had for the waiting room. I was talking about how hysterical it was, but if I was trying to get someone into wrestling, would I show them that? Almost all of the North American promotions have a problem with gimmicky, cheesy wrestling. If it was taken more seriously and displayed to us in a serious manner, like it actually is competitive, the suspension of disbelief wouldn't be such a reach. Don't get me wrong, I love wrestling, but these ratings are so sad compared to what they used to be. So, how do they get more wrestling fans? My first thought was interpromotional storylines. So, let's just talk about AEW for now. AEW is winning the Wednesday Night Wars, but ratings are still behind WWE's Titans, Raw, and SmackDown. So is their finances, with WWE having its most successful year yet. In terms of profit, AEW needs to collaborate with smaller promotions to close that gap. Now, AEW knows this better than anyone. They're already in a partnership with NWA through the use of Serena Deeb and the NWA Women's title, as we see on Dynamite, where she's defending the NWA Women's Championship, along with the fact that the champion is part of the AEW roster. It's safe to say that there's a team up with NWA. And, to be honest, AEW has gotten the best, as Thunder Rosa, Serena Deebs, and Aldis are some of the most noteworthy people still on the NWA roster. It would help them to work together for the foreseeable future, at least for the women's division. AEW needs this for sure, since 2 of their top 4 women are from NWA. It would be interesting to see Cody and Aldis reignite their feud. However, Nick Aldis is rumored to be notoriously hard to deal with and has been eluded by Cody, Dave Meltzer, and others as to why the third match between Cody and him at AEW hasn't happened. Trevor Murdoch and the Pope, who are also NWA stars, probably just wouldn't garnish much interest in AEW, and other than that, the NWA should also be trying to gain more steam when it comes to mainstream attention. It wouldn't serve AEW much of a purpose to get involved with any further. With that being said, many fans are interested in seeing AEW and ROH collaborate. Basically, people would like to see Jonathan Gresham in AEW, Session Moth Martina, and Maria Manic. Also, it would be great to see AEW work with Mexico's finest, the AAA, more than what they're doing now. A Dragon Gate team-up would be cool. And, of course, a talent exchange with New Japan Pro Wrestling seems to be in most people's dreams, and I know it's in mine. Realistically, it's likely that we'll see ROH, NWA, and DDP. They're already seemingly in a working relationship with NWA, and management of DDT has already told Kenny all he has to do is ask them, and they'll be there. These companies can join the invasion angle that is being done now, either on AEW side or Impact's. Impact's ratings have generally gone up since their AEW collaboration, And the same can be said for the viewership and merch sales of the other companies mentioned above. Now, there's a tiny downside. It might create some confusion when a new promotion like AEW is focusing on so many other companies. That could be a bit of a deterrent when a company is trying to establish itself. Impact is a third-ranked US-based company. MLW, GCW, and some others just are not going to move that needle. Compared to Impact, most wouldn't even know these promotions existed. The main focus should be developing the current roster, but building bridges doesn't hurt. So far, the partnership with Impact hasn't done much, mostly due to them not mentioning them as much as Impact mentions AEW. What would be really great is to see them go straight to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Those talents are very close to those of AEW, and it has mainstream attention. Maybe after the US is back to normal, we could see Allin too. And if they continue doing cross-promotional storylines, we'll start seeing the numbers creep back up to where they used to be. You never know. So, what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. And that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!